All right, we have another application that we're going to use the technology to help us solve. I usually start with the question first, determine the number of seats of each type. So then when I read it again, when I'm looking for what my variables should stand for, I know I'm looking for not different types of investments, not different types of people, but different types of seats. So it gets my brain focused a little bit, helps me with my reading skills. It says a basketball field house. So think of that as a basketball like stadium. Seats 15,000 people. Okay, that's going to be important later. So I'm going to put a circle or a box around that. I'm going to come back to it. Still doesn't tell me the type of seats yet. Here it says courtside seats. So maybe I'll let my X equal the number of courtside seats. That's why I read the question first, because otherwise I wouldn't know, is it the amount of people attending, the amount of people not attending, the amount of people that hate basketball? No, it's not about people. It's the number of seats. So courtside seats, and I'm going to keep track of my information, is $8. Okay, end zone, so maybe I'll put the number of end zone seats, and it says that you get $6 for each of those. Those are a little cheaper. And then the balcony, so maybe I'll let Z equal the number of balcony seats. And how much do they get for those? $4. Let's keep reading. Total revenue is $76,000. And then if half the courtside and balcony seats and all of the end zone seats are sold, then we'll get the $44,000. So this last one is a bit confusing, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so let's start at the top. Field house seats 15,000 people. So that means that's the total, not the total amount of money, but the total number of seats. So when you have a total people, you would have X plus Y plus Z equals 15 grand. What about total money? What if we sold every seat in the house? Okay, you're going to make $76,000. Now, where's that money going to come from? $8 for every courtside, $6 for every end zone, and $4 for every balcony. Now, how do we know to use all of them? It says total revenue for a sellout. Sellout means you're selling everything. Now the next one, it's not a sellout. So this is total one. Well, that was for sellout. Okay, so we had 1, 2. Now we're coming up with our third equation. This is that confusing one. So if half the courtside, so we have half the courtside and balcony and all of the end zone. Okay, so if I go this in order, X, I'm going to have half the number of courtsides. So that would be 1/2 X plus half the balcony. The balcony is the third one. What about the end zone? Because I'm going to do this in order, X, Y, Z. It says all of the end zone. So I'm going to write all the end zone. So that would be plus all of the end zone, not half of them, plus, and this is assumed that it's half a balcony again, because otherwise they would have written half again, or they would have written all. So then we have half of the balcony seats, so that's 1/2 Z. Now the problem is they don't tell us how many seats. They tell us the money is $44,000. So what that means is we don't, on the left side of the equation stands for the number of seats plus the number of seats plus the number of seats equals money. That doesn't make any sense. I have to have dollar, dollar, dollar equals dollar. So how much do you get for each of these seats, even though you're only selling half of them? For the court side, you get $8 for each one. For the end zone, you get $6 for each one. And for the balcony, you get $4 for each one. So if I were to sell all of them, I would get $8 for all of them. We want $8 for half of them, so we're going to get 4x. This is $6 for all the end zones, plus normally you get $4 for all of them. We want $4 for half of them, so that would end up being 2z equals 44,000. Okay, a little bit out of space, so we're going to continue this down. Okay, now I need to write my augmented matrix. X, Y, Z constant, X, Y, Z constant, X, Y, Z constant. So I have them all in the right order. I don't need to rewrite anything. And you write your augmented matrix down. This is what you're going to have to enter into your calculator. Now, one thing that's nice about the calculator, if you try one of these application problems and you get all the way through all the work on the application and you enter it in your calculator, oh, look at it, I don't know how to write. I wrote too many zeros. 44,000. Okay? If you get all the way to the end and you get an error or you get there's no solution, that means you set it up wrong. So that's what's nice about these application problems on test day, is you'll know immediately if you set this up right. So if you ever do this, especially on an assessment or a test day, and you end up getting like an answer that doesn't make any sense or no answer at all, maybe you get that it's an inconsistent system, don't erase your entire problem. What it means is you've made a mistake in one of your three equations. So start with the most complicated equation, and that's probably where your mistake is. So now what am I going to do? I am going to enter my matrix, check my matrix, and solve my matrix. So second matrix, gotta turn it on again. Second matrix, I want to edit, and I'm going to enter it in. It's still a 3 by 4. Oops, don't want to change that size. And notice my calculator is making enough room for them. Make sure you're counting your zeros. Okay, I usually goof up. I'm going to goof up. It's going to be on that last column, so I'm double checking it. But then I'm going to second quit. So you get back to your normal screen. I want to test it. So now I want to check it basically. So second matrix. I want to check it. So I'm just going to use name A. Do I have everything entered in correctly? I always have to watch my zeros because if I'm going to goof up, that's where it's going to be. So now I need to do the math. Second matrix, arrow over to math, go all the way down to reduced row echelon form. Second matrix, name A, and I get a value, or I get a solution. 1,003,000, 0,102,000, 0,0110,000. Okay, so what does that mean? My X, or the number of courtside seats, is 3,000. The number of balcony seats is 2,000. And the reason it's an is and not an are, guys, is the number. Singular. One number. Number of balcony seats is 10,000. There's my verbal interpretation of my application.